The first half of Bridgerton Season 3 got released this morning. Like the rest of the town who considers the series an escape, I have been looking forward to us getting the new season since the end of Season 2. 2 long years ago. Not because Pauline is particularly my favorite ship, it isn't, but that is in no way the fault of Penelope Featherington. She who is the love of my life. I adore her. I love her. Gods, how I love Penelope Featherington. Next week's Bridgerton video will be focused on her, so keep an eye out for that and do subscribe so you don't miss it. And while you're at it, please consider liking this video too. But yeah, the reason why I am not a fan of Pauline is quite frankly because of Colin Bridgerton and my personal preference in preferred tropes in romance novels. I will expatiate on that further along this video. But as I was saying, Pauline isn't my favorite ship. My preferred ships are Canthony because, of course, I love Francesca and her matches. And yes, I said matches. And finally, Hyacinth. How I love you, Hyacinth. My baby girl, let me count the ways. But back to Pauline, but most particularly Penelope, my darling, darling girl. All I wish for her is happiness. I want her glowing, I want her thriving, and I've always wanted better for her than Colin Bridgerton. However, Bridgerton as a series is quite skilled at not making my wishes come true. And before you go all, Noria, you've read the books, you already knew what was coming. Why on earth are you yapping on about being disappointed and your wishes not being realized? If, like you said, you've read the books, then you know Pauline is endgame. I didn't say I'm the most rational person. Like, what do you take me for? Of course I'm delusional. And I'm still going to grumble because Bridgerton, or to be more precise, love, has once again scarred me. To make sense of my rambling, allow me to take you along with me on the ride that is Bridgerton Season 1. This series kicks off with Daphne Bridgerton being named the diamond of the season, and as such she was given her pick of suitors and choices. But because Anthony Bridgerton was throwing a tantrum at this not being his season to shine and be the male lead, no need to tell me that that isn't technically what happened. I do not care. Back to Anthony, it was all about ruining Daphne's chances at a spectacular match. Enter the hottie, the baddie, the fuck. I cannot stop thinking about the scene with the tongue on the spoon, the scrumptious Simon Bassett, Duke of Hastings, who steps in to help Daphne course correct the situation. And would you look at that? Things are back on track. Things are rosy. There's light. There's music. There are birds. There is a prince. Frederick, not as hot as the Duke, mind you, because I mean, have you seen Regina Page? Gods. What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man, mighty good man. But Frederick was good as well, and better. He was a prince. Daphne was said to be a princess, something that would have also benefited the rest of her sisters immensely and elevated our entire family's position because in Regency period, the firstborn daughter does set precedent and her sisters benefit from her marital choice. And sure, Eloise might not have needed the match. She wouldn't have been grateful because she's team, I don't care about the nonsense that is the ton, and I'm over and above all of you, including you, Daphne, with your desire to marry and marry well and have kids, blah, blah, blah. But we all know that that's that Bridgerton privilege talking. Because of course she can say and think that way. She's lucky enough to have been born rich, beautiful, and to a titled family with a brother who took over after their father died and did his damnedest to see that his siblings knew they were loved and protected. Anthony Bridgerton, the man that you are. Anyway, back to the story at hand. Daphne is about to make the most fructuous of matches, and then in comes that annoying busybody, that irritatingly messy knave known as love. Because Daphne was hit with her love for Simon, and she passed on a prince for a duke. She chose the lesser option for love, and I was so miffed. Because yes, the duke is hot. Yes, the duke is fine. Yes, he is a duke, but she could have had a prince. And then Canthony happened. And I forgot about my irritation with love. Because now love was working for us. Love brought us Canthony. Love proved my love. See what I did there? It proved my love for enemies to lovers as the superior trope. Before you go arguing, argue with the wall. I will die on the hill that is enemies to lovers any day, any time. But yeah, love became my bestie, my ride or die, the baddest of B. And because I was so in love with Canthony, I forgot that love, that dreaded word, likes to fuck with me in the world of Bridgerton until I started season 3A and it showed itself and shoved me on my ass because instead of my girl, she who hung the sun, moon and stars, my witty queen, instead of her becoming Lady Devlin, she's going to be Mrs. Bridgerton. And I am miffed. Love, if I ever catch your ass on these streets, it is over for you. I mean, Lady Featherington said it best. Do you know what's romantic? Security. And she had that. Penelope Featherington was going to have that. Was going to be married to a lord with the largest home in Mayfair, 28 rooms large in fact. And then she gives it all up for love. For Colin Bridgerton, who never really noticed her in a romantic or sexual way until she was almost married to someone else. This is why friends to lovers is one of my least favorite tropes. It only works for me if maybe the two friends start falling in love at the same time. I actually really enjoy it if we have friends who have been in love with each other for years without the other knowing, both of them worried about crossing the line and terrified of taking that plunge because what if they misread it? What if it doesn't pan out the way they thought it would? What if they find out that they were better as friends? And now their relationship is ruined because they let it turn romantic. Like that agony, I want it. Feed it directly into my veins. Feed it to me because that is delicious. What I resent, however, is when you have one person who falls in love first, being miserable, seeing their love be happy with someone else and just holding it in. And then after years, when they are ready to move on, then their friend finally realizes that, oh, look what's been in front of me all along. And then they say yes. Like, excuse me? What the hell are you saying yes for? You have been sitting in the sidelines waiting for them to notice you for years. And then they finally see you and feed you some lines about having been tortured by thoughts of you and a love for you for weeks, mere weeks. And you say yes? No. Hell no. How dare they? How could they have been blind all this while? And now that I could possibly be happy and moving on, suddenly they see me? Now they notice me? How the fuck is that romantic? They haven't groveled. They haven't suffered. They were tortured by thoughts for weeks and that's it? I accept them with open arms? Hell no. It's aggravating, and I blame love for this. I blame that dastardly rascal, that thieving rogue of hearts called love. Love is responsible for this because Penelope could have ended up with Lord Devlin, is interested in her, in what she likes and enjoys. He finds her witty and funny and charming. He has his own interests, so we know that he would give her privacy, which is something she wants. She's not getting any privacy, by the way, with the Bridgerton, because that's 8 kids and 7 of their partners. We've not even considered their offspring because we know the Bridgertons are all crazy about their matches and fuck a lot. So we all know how romantically and sexually attracted they are to their love matches. And Violet has shown us that she's quite fertile. So there are going to be a lot of kids and grandkids. But yeah, back to the many positives of Lord Devlin. He has his own interests, he's moneyed, he has a big estate, he doesn't give a fuck, a single flying fuck about what the ton has to say about him. He wants someone who can be herself around him, and so he wants Penelope to be herself. And then there's the gracious way he bowed out of the suit. Sure, he was hurt, and I am of course not a fan of how he implied that Penelope might be unfaithful when he's away should they marry. But you know what? Dude was hurting. I respect that. I can give him that. Plus, is practical, because that's a valid ask, especially after just minutes ago during their dance. My darling girl has shown just how hopeful she is for an eventual love match. Add the fact that mere moments after that, Colin catches up to her and we have the epic carriage scene, which was even way hotter than it was in the books. I would have preferred it though if it had happened during the day like it did in the book, because personally it would have been more scandalous, and I live for the drama. Can you all tell I live for the drama? Because I do. But yeah, back to Lord Deblin. It would have been a practical but happy match, and my girl Penelope didn't get it. A great opportunity gone because of love. Once again, I repeat, Lord Deblin is moneyed, titled, and a landowner. 3 things that Colin Bridgerton isn't. But Colin has the one thing that Lord Deblin doesn't have: Penelope's heart. If you thought I was about to say something else, you are totally my people and should totally subscribe. But yes, here's to you, Lord Deblin. I loved you and your vegetarian ways. Keep speaking up for the murdered animals who were hunted for sport and hung as trophies on people's walls. Keep fighting for endangered species. A man such as yourself is an endangered species, actually, when we consider things. I'm sorry you had to experience such hurt, but honestly, I can't really blame you for falling in love. I know he said there wasn't space in his heart for love, but dude was hurt that she was in love with another man, no matter what he was yapping about before. So I see the love, Lord Deblin. I see the love. And know that we don't fault you for falling in love with her girl. Penelope Featherington is nothing if not absolute perfection. Why won't you fall in love with her? I mean, have you seen her? Met her? Who wouldn't love her? It's just a pity that, as William Makepeace Thackeray said, love makes fools of us all. Or in the case of Bridgerton, love makes paupers of us all. And before you go run into the comments complaining about how, well, technically Daphne isn't a pauper, she's a duchess, and Penelope has a writing business, and eventually things will turn out well for Colin. Book readers know what I'm talking about. The rest of you would have to wait till season 3B drops next month. It was a joke. Laugh.
Take a chill pill.
Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. Drop a comment. Share this video if you can. It helps grow my channel and get more people to see my content. Shout out to my patrons. Your support means the world to me and helps encourage me to keep making content. If you can afford to, you can consider supporting me on Patreon. Link is in the description. I know times are hard for everyone, so only if you can afford it, please. Like I said earlier on in the video, I do have another Bridgerton video coming either next week, Wednesday or Thursday at 5 p.m. EST. So keep an eye out for that. If, however, you would like to see more content from me earlier than that, my bookish, book adjacent type content drops every Friday at 5 p.m. EST. If you love anime or manga content, those drop on Mondays at 5 p.m. EST. So stick around the channel and settle in for the ride. And until my next video, which is dropping tomorrow, remember, obsessing over the things you love, perfectly valid coping mechanism.